Hi guys, thank you for tuning into Podcasts Are the New Black. My name is Gina.
I'm Haley.
And today we are going to be discussing the book Orange is the New Black by Piper Kerman. So this is also a very popular show on Hulu.
I think it's on Netflix as well.
Yeah. And it's pretty popular, as I said. Yeah. And it's about this woman who actually goes to prison for a drug offense that she committed 10 years before she's actually imprisoned. And it's about her experience there, all the people she meets and friendships she makes, and yeah.
Alright, so throughout the podcast, we're going to be having 5 giveaways to 5 lucky winners. For the first giveaway, we're going to have 2 winners for that one, and it's going to be one of our crew neck shirts and 2 of our t-shirts. Basically, all you have to do is pay attention to the podcast and then go to our Instagram, so make sure you check our Instagram out. It's just Inside a Woman's Prison with like underscores under each word. Then you're going to go onto our Instagram story and there's going to be like little pool questions there. So all you have to do is answer the question. For everyone who gets the answer right, you're going to be put into a drawing. And then at some point, we're going to announce on our Instagram who won like each thing. So just pay attention. We're going to have 2 giveaways. Like I said, the first one's going to be a crew neck sweatshirt and 2 t-shirts. And then the second one's going to be 4 masks, 2 t-shirts, and 2 pairs of socks. If you want to see what any of those look like, you can check on our Instagram page. There is posts about both of those on there. And then we're going to move on to our first topic. So the first thing I want to talk about is the strategies that the author uses. I know one of the things that like really drew me into the book first is how whenever the author like first wrote the first chapter, she went from like one time, so like almost like a, I don't know what you would call it, like a cliffhanger type of thing. Mm-hmm. So she takes you like further into time than whenever the book actually starts and gives you like the intense part of that chapter and puts that as the first thing and then has a cut and she goes to where it begins. And I thought that was just like a really great way to initially draw someone to the book, because I know that's what made me keep on wanting to read the book, because I remember like that was like the first thing. I just wanted to find out what happened.
Yes, I 100% agree. Another thing that really drew me into the book was the way the author describes the prison. It really makes you feel like you're there. You might have no idea what a prison looks like and you still feel like you're there. And even with the characters, describing features about them, she's very thorough with that. Yeah. Which like just makes you enjoy it all the more.
Yeah, like I felt like I was actually in the Danbury prison with her, honestly. It was insane how she did that. I actually loved that so much.
Yes.
So one of my favorite characters, we're going to move on to characters now. One of my favorite characters was Larry, and that is like the love interest in the book. They start out as friends and then they eventually like turn into like this like coupley kind of dynamic. And one of the things that I truly love about him is how he's there for her no matter what. He's always been waiting for her. Like whenever she comes out of the jail cell or like whenever she's there coming out of somewhere, he is always there waiting for her through thick and through thin. No matter what happens throughout the book, he is one of those characters who is always there for her and never leaves her side. And I thought that was just such like an motivating like type of thing, like to have that relationship with someone where you just care about them so much that you don't care what they do, you just want to be there for them.
Yeah, he even like drives a like multi-hour drive to get there, which is just crazy.
It's insane.
So my favorite character is Pop, who is the prison cook in the prison, and the reason I really love her so much is because she like is serving a 12-year sentence, which is obviously very difficult. But like a lot of people, if that happens to them, they would be very bitter the whole time and probably get like unfriendly. Yeah. But she is such a mom, I guess.
She is. Word. She honestly is.
Yeah, to everyone in the prison, and she's the cook, and she's like dedicated to her job. Actually, in one of the first scenes of the book, she like gets offended when someone, Piper actually like says something negative about her food, but they eventually become really good friends, and Pop loves her. So I just very loving. So another character that is essential to the plot of the book, and honestly, pretty much the main reason Piper ends up in prison, is Nora. Yes. So Nora is Piper's old friend and lover who eventually got involved with the wrong people and had this friendship with a drug lord, and she started to smuggle money and eventually became a drug carrier. So Piper was always friends with Nora, and she would even go on some of these trips with Nora because she'd be like internationally delivering drugs to different people. And eventually Piper had to smuggle, or she was forced to kind of coerce into smuggling money for the drug trade. So Nora, though, that's not where her part of the book ends. Towards the end of the book, Piper's almost done with her sentence, and she has to get transferred to Chicago to testify against a drug lord that Nora was friends with.
Yeah, I think that's like basically it, like all we can talk about Nora. Like, you really have to read the book to understand how Nora is. It's just such a crucial character to the book, but like, I don't know how to feel about her, honestly. Sometimes I like her, and sometimes she's just kind of, I don't know. It's a weird type of thing that you get from Nora.
Right. They actually end up in the same cell in Chicago because they're both testifying against the drug lord to shorten their prison sentence. So very interesting. That is like a very weird real world coincidence.
Yeah. So. All right, so let's move on to like the things that we took away from the book. So one of the big things that I learned from this book is that there is always, always, always hope for tomorrow. Because, like I said, no matter what happened, Piper always kept a positive outlook on things. Like, sometimes, you're gonna be in a prison, so you're gonna be a little bit upset about certain things. But throughout the book, she always had hope. She always had hope about everything. She always had hope she was gonna go home. And she did. It's so like inspirational how much hope she had. And then another thing that I learned is you gotta always make the best of it. So you might be stuck inside a woman's prison, but make friendships, make connections with people, and just, again, have hope for tomorrow, because you never know what's gonna come.
Yeah. Another thing that I learned from it was how important friendship is. Like, obviously, we all know friendship is an important thing, but when you're going through difficult times, it's easy to, like, isolate yourself. But truly, Piper would not have made it through her sentence as, I don't want to say happy, but with her well-being as decent as it could be if she didn't have friends like Pop and Janet, some of the other characters in the book. And the other thing that really, I think towards the end of the book, I started to learn was that perspective really is key. Because for the majority of the book, you're thinking like, oh my gosh, this prison is not good. Like, I can't imagine if I had to spend 15 months there. But then Piper gets transferred to a prison in Chicago when she's testifying against the drug lord. And like, Danbury, even though like the whole book you're thinking, wow, this sucks, is way better compared to that prison. So really just perspective is key is something that I took away.
Yeah. All right. So that's the end of the podcast. So thank you so much for tuning into the podcast of New Black with your host, Haley and Gina. Make sure to check out our Instagram page and answer those questions. If you can remember the answers, remember that you will be entered to drawing in the thing. And just remember to check out our merchandise in general. So thank you for tuning in.
Thank you.